A solid formation can literally win you a game or cause you to lose. And in this video, I'm gonna give you some tips and tricks on where to place your units and what the different unit types are. Now let's jump into this video. What is up, Pistol Nation? Today we got some tips on placing your units on the battlefield. And if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We on the road to 800 subscribers. And I can't get there without your support. And pistol whip that like button if you enjoyed this video. Now let's go over the units first. There's a couple different unit types. Attack. The attack unit type is right here. As you see, it is the two swords. So what kind of, what do they do, right? Well, they are offensive units and they can decrease their target's armor by a percentage. Multiple effects are redundant, meaning if you have multiple of them attacking the same unit, it doesn't like scale up. So their armor isn't going to be scaled the more attackers you have attacking the same person. So it only happens one time. So these are very, very good for reducing armor on your enemies. So you would basically want them to attack the tanks. That way you can lower the tank's armor and burn through them faster. The next one we have is defense. These are your tanks. They have the little shield icon. These are defensive units. They have high damage reduction, strong stamina. The strong stamina means high HP. So they have high HP and they can take a lot of hits. So these are your front line, your tanks. You want to have them up front. Next we have is the charge units. The charge units are indicated by this little horse at the top corner right here. Charge units deal more damage when attacking caster units. So the charge units are very good for taking out the backline, the spellcasters. So when we get into the formation point of view, I'll show you different tips and ways we want to get our chargers to the backline. So I'll show you some stuff in a little bit. The range has the little arrow. They shoot arrows and stuff. So the greater the distance between the range units and their target is, the higher the shooter's attack is. So basically you want to have your ranged damage dealers as far back as possible, because the farther they are from the person they're attacking, the more damage they will do. If they have someone right up on top of them, they're not going to do as much damage as if they're, you know, sniping someone from across the whole battlefield. That's very important to take into consideration. Next we have the caster. The caster has the little purple thing. It has, like, I guess you want to say it looks like a wand or something, like you're casting spells. But this is your caster units, and they have mastered the secrets of magic, and they are consequently they have high magic resistance. I'm trying to make y'all laugh. It's 2019. It's the last day of 2019. We into 2020 soon. These are your spellcasters, your magic people. And what they are good for is they have high resistance to the magic that your heroes cast. So if you're going up to against a hero and they have like very strong spells, they cast Blizzard, they cast Inferno, fire arrows, whatever they do, they're going to be very good at taking damage from that. So you're going to have to keep that in mind when you're attacking. When you're attacking someone, you don't want to cast your spells on a caster because they have high magic resistance, so it's not going to do anything to them. All right, now here we are at the formation. So here's our formation, and we're just going to go over some tips and stuff. So here we go. I got my tanks. You want to have your tanks in the front line. So this very first column, you want to always have your tanks in this first column. You can get away with putting them in the second column, I mean, like second row. It depends on your strategy, but I usually like to keep them up front. Right here, first row is for the tanks. Now, and you also have to keep into consideration that they have different placements. So as you see, if I click on the tank, I cannot place the tank in the back line. It only lets me put the tank in the first two rows. If we click on the charger, we can put the charger in any row. The back line, the first row, second row, third row, the front line. You can put the chargers anywhere. You can put only in the two back rows. And same with the archers. You can only put them in the two back rows. Now if we click on, let me get rid of this guy. Hold on. And let me grab one of these guys. Here we go. the attacker, he can only go in the first 2 rows. So one strategy or one tip you can do is you can pair a tank and then you can put an attacker behind the tank. So what this does is the tank will absorb the damage as, say you're going tank up against tank, and then you have the attacker behind him. The attacker will attack the tank and it will lower his armor. So he won't even take any damage. He'll be protected by him, and it gives him a good push to get in there and lower armor. Now, another thing you want to do is, depending on the unit or the creature or whatever you want to call them, some of them have special abilities. And a very good example for this is the Firebird. If you click on the Firebird's ult is, it does this very long like flame breath, and it does it in a line, like in a row. Now the problem with this is, if you have it in this row and all the opponent's units are in the bottom rows, when it does the fire breath, it's going to do the fire breath in this row. It does not do the fire breath across in a diagonal. So when you place your Firebird or any specific unit, you want to make sure that you look at the ult and see what kind of ability it does, and if it attacks in a single column or not. So if you have the Firebird, you want to place the Firebird in a column where your opponent has all their units stacked up. So if my opponent has like 3 units stacked up in this row, I want to put my Firebird here, because when my ult triggers, it will burn the hell out of all of them. Now your archers, you don't want to put your archers in this second to third, like second to back line. You want to put them all the way. You always want to have them in the very, very back, because you want to have as much distance as possible between your archer and who they're going to hit. Now the charger is very, very versatile. The charger you can put anywhere, and the charger you want to put in an empty spot where you'll be able to get to the back line. Okay, so here we go, an example. So here's my opponent, and it shows their formation. They got 3 tanks right here. They got 1 horse right here, charger. They got their archers in the back with their mage. And we want to keep our tanks here. But at the same time, they also have a charger at the bottom. We don't want to, if you have something like this, and you have nothing down here to stop their chargers, the charger will just run straight for the back line and absolutely demolish them. And if you have a mage, a caster in the back, they will go right for the caster, and they will just absolutely destroy them in 2 seconds. So you have to block the charger. You always have to block the charger. You cannot let a charger just go in and it just decimate your back line. You have to protect your back line. These are your damage dealers. This is what you got to protect. So we could put something like this. All right, so we could put something like this where we put our tank here. Actually, we could put our big tank here. He's gonna block the charger. Then we could put another tank here. He's gonna block that charger. Then we could get rid of some of this. I got way too much stuff. So let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of one of these. So now let's go and let's rock. Let me see. What else could we put in there? Let's put in a attacker. So let me see, where do I have an attacker at? Here's an attacker. So we'll put this attacker right here behind him. You could put him here. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. He's going to go up against the tank. He's going to take the tank down. And it's good, though, if we have him. So here's what I was talking about. You see this top row? They only have 1 in it. And then these second 2 rows, they got 3 and 3. So I want to get the most out of my flame breath. So I'm going to actually put my flame guy right here. We're gonna keep him here, and we got still 2 more units to place. So we're gonna put, we got 2 tanks. Let's grab 1 more tank. Let's see. Let's grab our skeletons as a tank, and we're gonna rock this. We're gonna rock it like this, and we could put 1 more damage dealer in. So let's put another spellcaster. I'm gonna put, and this is a solid formation for what we're going up against. We have the tanks blocked. The tanks aren't going to get the back line. We have the charger blocked by him. He's not going to get to us. We have lots of distance. And then we have an attacker who's going to lower the armor right here. We have our Firebird who's going to hit 3 rows. He's going to hit these 3 rows in a row. So let's run it back and let's see what happens. And it's gonna change with every different formation is like, you know what I mean? It's going to change. There's going to be times where you have to play defensive. And then there's going to be formations where you can really go aggressive, where as if your opponent really like, oh God, I don't have auto combat on. I didn't have auto combat on. I'm getting demolished. And you'll want to be like more upfront and attacking, and then you'll be more defensive. So it depends on the formation you're going up against. It's hard to say what the best formation is. I can't necessarily tell you, oh, this is the best formation, you should always run this formation, because what you're going up against changes. You're not always going to go up against the same formations, right? It changes. So you have to understand that you have to adapt. You have to adapt, and I just try and give you some basic tips and tricks. So look at this formation. This formation is absolutely effed. This is like weird as hell. So first thing we want to do is they got these two horses in the back, so we definitely want to defend them. We got a defender and these two, and then we're gonna have these two tanks roll up. So you know what we'll do is we'll place one of these guys right here. We got our Firebird. You know what we're gonna do is we're gonna take. We want our to damage him. We want him to damage him. We got to put something here. I want to put something here. We could put. We could put a horse. Let's put our vampires up front. Why not? You don't have to be like crazy about this and be like, oh my god, I'm gonna put them in the wrong spot. It's very simple. You just got to pay attention and understand the basics. If you can follow the basics of the gameplay, you'll be okay. Now, as you can see right here, my vampires, they're getting absolutely slaughtered. Their charge units and their mages are absolutely wrecking them. You see how fast they died? See, you got to keep that into consideration. If the mages have a way to just straight up attack your chargers, they're going to kill the hell out of them. So that's very important. You want to do the types against the types, you know, and you want to balance it out and make sure they're not in the same row getting absolutely smashed. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Pistol whip that like button if you enjoyed it. Hit that subscribe button. We got more Era of Chaos videos coming, and I will see y'all in the year 2020.